Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. Strikeforce detectives are continuing investigations into the alleged murder of a woman at Port. Emergency services were called to a bed and breakfast on Coulson Road on Friday night following reports of a concern for welfare. They found 46-year-old Natalie Galsick with significant injuries. She was treated at the scene but could not be revived. Her husband, 47-year-old Stephen Galsick, was arrested and faced Newcastle bail court on Saturday, charged with murder. He's been held in custody with the matter to return to court today. A man's recovering in hospital after a violent altercation at Cardiff early today. Police and paramedics were called to Alhambra Avenue just after 3:30 this morning to reports of an assault. A man in his 30s was treated for a stab wound to his right shoulder and other injuries before being transported to hospital. 2 people are assisting police with their inquiries. Calls are being made for an energy centre of excellence in Tyers Hill to meet increasing demands for skilled electrical workers in the Hunter. It comes as new data from the Institute for Sustainable Futures shows the electrical sector in Australia is expecting significant jobs growth in coming years. The report suggests the country's electrical workforce will need to increase by 50% to meet the influx of new jobs in the sector. Hunter Jobs Alliance Coordinator Justin Page says discussions surrounding the centre are ongoing.
We've had direct engagement with the Federal Skills Minister and the State Skills Minister, and there's definitely discussions happening. The National Skills Agreement actually has funding available this year, and that's what we've been targeting. The Hunter Jobs Alliance has been targeting that funding that's available for 2024 to establish centres of excellence.
Industrial action, which could have involved the Hunters firefighters, has been averted, with the state government and the firefighters union reaching agreement on a new pay deal. The state's 6,800 fire and rescue workers will receive an interim pay rise of 3% to be backdated to February. It follows a 4.5% increase last year, which the government says is the highest in more than a decade. Newcastle Permanent is calling on palliative care clinicians to apply for a new scholarship aimed at furthering learning and professional development. More than $22,000 has been put towards the 9 new education scholarships. It comes after Newcastle Permanent employee Taylor Vickers nominated Palliative Care New South Wales to receive a funding boost. She says the nomination, known as Penny's Promise, was made in memory of late employee and dear friend Penny, who sadly died last year. She's calling on clinicians in the region to apply.
It is an incredible cause, and it's a part of Penny's Promise, which is a group of people led by Penny's sister, who she was very, very close to. And I know people say they're close to their sisters, but Penny and Nat were just best friends. Nat started Penny's Promise in Penny's honour, and everything they raise goes towards the palliative care service.
Work is set to begin on a major upgrade to Cook Square Park at East Maitland this week. More than $800,000 is going towards the construction of a new amenities building to provide upgraded change rooms for men and women. It follows a $1 million upgrade to the training pitch to help with the continued growth of Maitland Football Club and women's sport. Construction is due to wrap up by the end of January 2025.
2NURFM Sport.
The Knights have lost 25-16 to the Roosters in the NRLW finals, putting an end to their three-peat hopes. Newcastle went into the break down 22-4 after 3 tries in the final 11 minutes of the first half put the game out of reach. Despite falling short of a third straight grand final appearance, coach Ben Jeffries expects his side to bounce back next season.
Certainly had the playing group there to do it. It's just, obviously, as I mentioned, Roosters were too good on today, but next year the expectation is to keep doing what we're doing.
Maitland have secured a third consecutive minor major premiership double after beating Central Newcastle 24-4 in the Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final. Playing in their first decider since 1963, Central kept the game close in the first half, entering the break only down 6-4. However, the Pickers scored 3 unanswered second-half tries and stood strong defensively, keeping their opponents scoreless to come away with a comfortable win. Maitland played Lakes United in the women's and reserve grade grand finals, winning both games 16-10 and 24-22 respectively. And the Jets have had a winning start to pre-season, beating Perth Glory 3-2 in Bunbury. Brazilian import Wellersol set up the first goal before being subbed off at halftime after suffering a knock. That's sport. I'm Will McGrath.
And the winning numbers in Weekend Lotto are 15, 19, 29, 34, 37 and 40, and the supplementaries are 6 and 44. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.